SummerSlam 2024, and Randy Orton has just beaten Cody Rhodes to win his 15th world title. But he's confronted by a man who wants to win his record-breaking 17th and his last. But John Cena's body isn't what it used to be. So how on earth can he climb the mountain one more time without tarnishing his legacy? Well, it begins with Randy Orton hitting Cena between the eyes with some truth. John, what on earth makes you think you've even remotely earned a shot at this? You've barely even been in the ring. Hell, you've barely even won a match, and to be honest, I think you've lost it. And Cena actually agrees and says, Randy, listen, I don't need you or anyone else to tell me that I haven't earned a shot at that championship. Ah yes, John Cena, the greatest of all time, as some people say. And it's hard to argue, you've had such a great career. But let me tell you something right now, things have changed around here, and if you're going to earn anything, it will be earned by going through the ring general. Gunther stands both figuratively and literally in the way of John Cena. But funnily enough, that isn't Cena's only goal now. Because as he sees Gunther, he says, ah yes, the all-powerful Gunther. Longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. You know, I'm looking for number 17 when it comes to world titles. But now, I might just be looking for number 1 when it comes to yours. Cena wants a shot at his first Intercontinental Championship, and Gunther gives his answer by attempting to powerbomb Cena, but he gets out. And then Cena is looking for an AA, but Gunther slips out of that and subsequently slips out of the ring, and he says, I accept your challenge. Bash in Berlin in front of my people. I teach the great John Cena a lesson, and I end this little dream before it even begins. And I'll send you to an early retirement. But as Gunther walks off and Cena turns around, Randy Orton is coiled, and he could have RKO'd him, but he doesn't. And Randy says, not as quick as you once were, John. And despite what the meme says, I sure as hell can see you. And I'll be seeing you soon. But only if you survive. Main event time, Bash in Berlin. It's Cena versus Gunther, and it's Cena's chance to not only progress closer to a shot at Randy Orton, but also to get his hands on the one championship that has eluded him. And we find out, however, that this level might just be a bridge too far for Cena at this point in his career, because Gunther punishes him. Gunther is wrestling in front of family and friends, and he isn't looking to take it easy on the veteran. He's giving everyone in Germany an up-close look as well. He's making an example of him, but it feels like he's underestimated Cena big time. The First Ballot Hall of Famer fights back in classic fashion. Even though it feels like he's in enemy territory, the crowd still gets behind him. He's all over Gunther, who's now waning big time. And Cena hits all the classics and then lines him up and nails him with a 5-knuckle shuffle, and it's now time to finish him off. Cena's body fails. Gunther launches off and nails him with a lariat. And he picks him up and slams him to the mat with a powerbomb, stacks him up and pins him. Gunther keeps the one title that has eluded Cena out of his grasp. But that's not all that he does. He plants a major seed of doubt in Cena's head that he could ever climb the mountain again. But he didn't become John Cena by giving up. John, this isn't going as well as you expected, but it's going how I expected. Listen, it's okay to bite off more than you can chew. We've all been there. Gunther is a hell of a competitor, and but Cena cuts him off and says, Randy, you've known me longer than anyone here. What's the one thing that I always say? And Randy replies and says, never give up. That's it, right? But maybe you should, John. Did you ever think of that? Maybe you're past it. It's going to happen to us all, and it's happening to you right now. It's a super tense moment. Cena and Orton are nose to nose, just like old times. But this isn't old times. The new school is here in the form of Gunther, who gets in between them, and Gunther says, "Your time is up, John. I proved this already. My time is now. And Randy, I think I've more than shown that I'm capable of not only challenging you for the World Championship, but beating you for it too." It's fitting as well. Cena couldn't survive me. So why not have our match at Survivor Series? The World Heavyweight Championship and the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship on the line. Orton accepts on the spot. The time is now for Gunther, but as he aptly said, is John Cena's time up? Well, he certainly doesn't think so, because even though he has to step aside from his goal for now, he wants someone to step up at Survivor Series, and he's in the ring and has a very exciting challenge to lay down. Never give up isn't just a tagline, so as hard as it gets, giving up is never an option. Now, I might be forced to stop, but I know I've got some gas left in the tank, and I failed in Berlin, but the real failure would be giving up. So if we're gonna get nostalgic, WWE Universe, I have a challenge. An open challenge to anyone back there at Survivor Series. If you want some, come get some. We're live in Boston, and the crowd is extremely excited to find out just who it is. The rumors have been swirling, the dirt sheets have been buzzing, but who will it be? AJ Styles, one of the most famous rivals of John Cena. These two have had unbelievable matches in the past, and in what will almost certainly be their final one, they absolutely tear it down. Cena is fired up. This is the perfect chance to prove himself. But it isn't just about him, because Styles is in a similar position with more of his career behind him than ahead. And both men are fighting to stay in the hunt to hold the ultimate prize one more time. But once again, it feels like Cena's body is failing. He's struggling to keep Styles down. Perhaps he's lost some power. Perhaps Randy was right. The game seems to have passed him by for now. But for the first time, the frustration starts to grow, because Cena starts thinking a little bit differently. And when the referee is taken down by an errant foot, Cena has the chance to do the unthinkable. He goes to the outside and he grabs a chair. Surely he wouldn't cheat. Has he gotten so desperate that he would go against everything he believes in? No, Cena thinks better of it. He tosses the chair to the outside, but as he spins around, Styles was waiting. He flies off and nails him with a phenomenal forearm. Cena is in big trouble. Styles stalks him. He wants the Styles Clash to end it, but Cena counters, rolls Styles through for the pin. 1, 2, no! Styles kicks out. He then springboards off, looking for the reverse DDT, but Cena catches him and nails an AA, but immediately rolls him through, knows he needs another, and hits it. Cena does it, and without having to resort to underhanded tactics. He proves he can still hang with the best, and he hustles his way to a huge win. But then all eyes turn to later in the night when Randy Orton and Gunther ends in a disqualification, because Ludwig Kaiser has unbelievably turned on Gunther, hitting him with the Intercontinental Championship that he now wants to take from his own leader, leaving Orton with the WWE Championship that Cena wants. And if he's going to capitalize on the momentum of defeating AJ Styles, he's going to have to enter another epic battle to do it. At Survivor Series, I really felt, for the first time, that I've gotten back on track. For the first time since I came back to try and climb the mountain one more time, I felt like John Cena. So it got me thinking, what would the old John Cena do? The answer? It was very simple. the old John Cena would enter the Royal Rumble, win the Royal Rumble, and challenge Randy Orton to go on to WrestleMania in Minneapolis, Minnesota. John, this is so admirable. Listen, no one, and I mean no one, respects you more than me. We've been to war, we've done it all corners of the globe, which is why I can see through you. Don't think the world didn't see you get tempted by the dark side against AJ the moment you got frustrated. You going to the dark side, John? You nearly went to that place that we all know you've always wanted to go. And listen, I know what it's like. You're looking at the Viper. You're getting desperate. This is your last chance. And I don't want to see it slip. So I'm going to be watching very, very closely. The mind games are in full swing, but so is Cena's training for the Royal Rumble match. He heads to the Performance Center and he works with younger talent, but there's someone also there who is not so young, but it's another ghost from John Cena's past. Punk and Cena have the ultimate stare down. Punk is back to try and win his first Royal Rumble after just missing out the year prior. Punk has held the World Championship but also lost it to Damian Priest's cash-in, so he's more determined than ever to get back to the top. The two don't even say a word. They don't have to. The exchange leaves the world buzzing and talking about the Royal Rumble, including a former opponent of Cena, and it's Edge, who offers some words of encouragement via X. And he says, John Cena is one of my biggest rivals. If we're approaching the end, which all of our generation are, I think if anyone can do it one more time, it's him. The cream always rises, and he will again. Respect is on the agenda from one of Cena's most famous rivals, but all roads lead to the Royal Rumble. And Cena enters his final Rumble appropriately at number 17, which is the number of world titles he wants to have when it's all said and done. And he manages to get a couple of nice eliminations, and he has some great moments with the likes of Cody Rhodes and even Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who debuted on the main roster by confronting Cena. But ultimately, it has led to the big confrontation that everyone was waiting for. It's finally on! Punk and Cena are into it, and the crowd comes alive! The rivalry is arguably the most famous of all of them, and it's another story of two veterans trying to climb the mountain one more time. Cena throws Punk over the top rope, but he holds on, and Cena is desperately trying to force him to the floor, but Punk will not relent. He manages to get back in, but Cena picks him up for an AA. He wants to send him over that way, but Punk counters, and he manages to pick up Cena, and now he wants a GTS, but Cena escapes that. He looks for a clothesline, but Punk avoids it, and Cena flies over the top rope. He barely manages to hang on, and now Punk is fighting to get him to the floor. The crowd is cheering for Cena to hang on, but he agonizingly just loses his grip. It's complete heartbreak for Cena. His chance to main event WrestleMania literally slips through his fingers. But directly after this, as Punk is admiring his work, he is tumbled out by none other than Seth Rollins. And Rollins would later go on to win the Royal Rumble for a second time in his career and select to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. But it left Punk and Cena on an even more combustible collision path, heading toward Elimination Chamber, which will be held in the O2 Arena in London, a place that is very special to John Cena. You know, since I got here, I've had laser vision on my goal, and that was to main event WrestleMania. I got injured, and I missed out in Philly. But I rehabbed, I came back, and I still won the World Championship. And now, Damian cashed in, and that's his prerogative. But the point is, I win. And I'm going to win again. And I'm going to do whatever I have to do to main event, and that is... The more things change, the more they stay the same, Punk. Here we are again. You know, the last time we did this was a lot different. We were a lot different. You left, I kind of left, but both for very different reasons. But one thing that never changed is our competitiveness. Our desire to be the very best we can be for the fans and I. But Punk cuts him off and says, let's cut to the chase, John. We can pander to them for hours, but that's not why you're here. It's not why I'm here. I'm not getting any younger, neither are you. But you are right. We've both changed a hell of a lot. Hell, I used to sit right up there on that stage and say a lot of things, but I'm more focused and more mature now. But you've even shown signs, just like Randy said, that you'd resort to going to the dark side. So just how much have you changed, John? How much are you willing to bend on that hustle, loyalty, respect to get back to the top? Who has more in the tank? You gonna make it? Those old Hollywood bones might just start breaking. Hey, my arms might tear again. We don't know. But who wants it more? Well, hell, Punk. How about we find out? One last time. Elimination Chamber, the O2 in London. You want some? Come, get some. Punk picks up Cena and he lays him out with a GTS and he stands over him and he says, the answer is me. I have more gas in the tank. I'll see you in London. Punk gets the jump on Cena, but later that night, it's made official that CM Punk will indeed face John Cena at Elimination Chamber. But that isn't anywhere near the biggest news, because we also find out that the winner will face Randy Orton at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. It's set to be one of the biggest matches in WWE history. But where is Cena's mind? He's shown signs of a potential dark turn, but would he ever go through with it? Well, it's put to the test later when he's in the locker room and he's approached by someone who knows both sides very well. Big Match John, the greatest of all time. I'm not here to blow smoke. I'm just here to put something to you. Listen, your body can't do what it once did. But you know what can? Your mind can. And maybe there is some tricks you could pull out of your bag. You know, a little more hustle without the loyalty or the respect. Your time is almost up, John. The time is now to make the change. Trust me, I've been there. Just think about it. And if this is the last time that I see you, champ, thank you for all the amazing moments. When we get to Elimination Chamber at the O2 in London, Cena seems conflicted. And just before he goes out for his final battle with Punk, he comes face to face with someone who gave him his first. John, I've always spoken about the 3 eyes, and I think you've always shown them in abundance. But while I preach the 3 eyes, you have your own 3 letters. And they sure as hell aren't RKO. They're HLR. Don't forget that, John. This doubt that you have is all mental. Yeah, you're not as good as you once were, but you're as good once as you ever were. You're better than stooping to the level that everyone is expecting you to. You're John freaking Cena. It's true. It's damn true. And with those words of encouragement, Cena heads out to battle Punk one final time. And it's a war. Neither man is going to hold back, and the crowd is firmly behind Cena, given we're in London, and Cena has been a huge advocate for WrestleMania in London, and also the people in general. But Cena knows that this is his last chance, and Punk knows it could be his as well. There's close call after close call, both men laying it all out on the line. But then the real test comes, because Punk accidentally hits the referee with a knee in the corner and he's down. And then he gets put down by a Cena right hand, and once again the temptation creeps in. He goes to the outside and grabs a chair, The London crowd are screaming at him not to do it. He's frustrated, he's conflicted. But once again, he decides against it. He throws the chair down, slides back in the ring, but as he does, Punk picks him up for another GTS. Cena kicks, he's still alive, and Punk can't believe it. Cena is holding firm on what he has at his core, and Punk keeps trying to heap on the pressure, but it doesn't work. Cena is rising up, Cena is firing up, and it's a genuine throwback. He's finding himself, he's finding the real John Cena, and he steps it up, knocking Punk down again and again. He fires off a 5-knuckle shuffle, and he stalks him, and he nails him with an AA. But he isn't done. He rolls through for another AA, but he's still not content. He wants to make a statement. He loads him up on the top turnbuckle and smashes him with a super AA, and he picks up the massive win. Cena is back, and that is what everyone was waiting for. No heel turn, no crisis of character. Cena has booked himself one final match with his arch nemesis, his most famous rival, and the road to WrestleMania is taking shape, including later in the night when new Mr. Money in the Bank Drew McIntyre cashes in on Damian Priest, which brought out a desperate CM Punk to try and ruin his celebration and to try and force his way into a main event spot. Now it's looking very much like a blood feud triple threat on the horizon. But the real question is, how much gas does Cena have left in the tank? So here we are. Somehow, some way, you've willed yourself into this position. And I'm proud of you. I really am. You did it. But this is where it ends. And I'm not talking about me pinning you at WrestleMania, because that's a given. This is where the facade of John Cena ends. We've seen the true John Cena. We've seen you pick up the chair. We know that you want to use it. Now, you say you're a man of loyalty, a man of respect, but I also know you like to hustle. So I have a question. Since you know your body almost certainly won't be able to hold up against me at WrestleMania, I want to test your mind. Orton goes out and grabs a chair. He slides in the ring, but not to use it on Cena. Instead, he hands it to him to tempt him. And Randy Orton turns his back. I see what you're doing, Randy. This is your thing, right? The mind games, the Viper, the Apex Predator. And you're right. We've known each other a long time. So you should know that I am who I am. Like it or not, this chair, I will never use it. But then Randy spins around and RKO's Cena, and he looks down at him and says, "That's why you won't break the record. Because you're refusing to break this stupid hustle, loyalty, respect bullshit. You done, Cena? You've lost your edge. You've lost that ruthless aggression that brought you to the dance in the first place." Orton saunters off, but as he walks away, he hears Cena say, "You want ruthless aggression?" And Randy turns and he storms back into the ring and he gets in the face of Cena and he says, "More than anything, John, show me what you got." Cena and Orton nose to nose again, and Cena's now holding the chair. And he says, "Show me what you got, John. You want this or not? You want number 17? Then you've got to show something." I knew you didn't have it in you. You can see the emotion in John Cena's face, because he knows that win or lose, this is it. And who better than Randy Orton to give him that fight? But it becomes very apparent that Orton is still a step too fast. He completely outclasses him. This is the biggest stage of them all, and Cena has been here many times, but he's getting outdone completely by someone who knows this stage and him just as well. But Cena's entire career was built on 3 words: never give up. And Cena fires up. The crowd goes with him too. They desperately want to see him go out on his own terms and at the top as a champion. And he's got Randy in big trouble. He hits the springboard stunner, but it clearly hurts his back. But he fights on. He's trying to just drain himself of everything he has left in his career. And he stalks Randy for an AA. And when he gets him up on his shoulders, Randy's feet hit the ref and he goes down. Cena's back gives out and his body fails again. But instead of capitalizing, he seems to take pity. And he says, "John, you don't have it. But listen, I respect your effort. You know what? Because of that effort, I'm going to give you one more chance." Orton spins around again for an RKO, but Cena was ready this time. He reverses directly into an AA, which lands right on the chair. Orton falls on his own sword. Cena pins him and wins number 17. He breaks the record, and it shows that not giving up can get you where you need to be. But Cena finally does break the promise of not giving up when he gives up the championship the night after. I won my first world championship 20 years ago. And almost 20 years later, I was fortunate enough to win my 17th. The title lays in front of me, not out of disrespect, but instead to pave the way for the next generation to make their mark like I did. And 17 world championships is incredible, but breaking the record isn't what I'm most proud of. What I'm most proud of is not breaking away from who I am, which is a bigger achievement. But the biggest achievement is earning the love of the WWE Universe and the respect of my peers. I've hustled, I've stayed loyal, and I respect this business that has given me a lifetime of memories and a life I could only dream of. Thank you. And Cena, with tears streaming down his face, is then surprised by a long line of high-profile former rivals who have come to pay tribute in person. John Cena bows out, a record-breaking champion, a future Hall of Fame legend, but most importantly, as his true self. His time is up, but his time will never be forgotten.